Alright, so hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Cars. Today, I'm sure most of you know that the new Ford Bronco has been released, and I just wanted to go over the Bronco today because I respect some of the decisions that Ford has taken. Now, as you guys know, I'm a Land Cruiser owner. I've loved Land Cruisers my whole life, and I think I'll own Land Cruisers my whole life. But when I saw what Ford released, it reached out to me, and that's what I liked. So if you don't know the history of the Bronco, it redefined SUVs basically, solid axles, front and rear, and a car that people could take and go out into the real wild and enjoy. And then Ford stopped selling it, and about 20 years or 30 years have passed. But now, as you see, they're releasing for us 3 new models. So the Ford Bronco is back, and it sticks to the retro styling that it had before, which I love. So 3 models: you got a 2-door, 4-door, and you got a sport version. Sport version is a unibody construction, so not as off-road worthy. But straight away from the designs, I think we can all agree that this is an attractive vehicle. And straight away what I noticed is it's on 35-inch tires, which to me is absolutely fantastic. From the factory you get 35-inch tires. I love that they stuck to the retro styling of the Ford Bronco. They brought a lot of those classic elements back into the vehicle. So they stuck to the laurels, unlike the new Land Rover Defender or some of the other vehicles, and straight away, Ineos Grenadier is a vehicle that's coming out, another SUV that I'm going to do a video on very soon. But this Ford Bronco just blows everything out of the water. And I absolutely love Ford for doing that. They understand what people are looking for. People want SUVs that they can take anywhere. Not SUVs that are so dolled up and full of electronics. And so Ford, they make the Raptor, they make the F-150. They've been making trucks their whole life. And so the Bronco, it's properly off-road worthy. And when you come to the interior, yes, it's a basic interior, but that's what you expect from a car that's going to take on dust and mud. And they've made it very modular as well. As you can see, you can remove 2 doors, you can remove all 4 doors, you can even remove the roof. And this looks like the ultimate rock crawler, if I'm honest. 35-inch tires, crazy approach and departure angles, best in class basically. And so you got a solid axle in the rear and independent front suspension, but this modern independent front suspension can be very reliable. But the new Bronco has got great flex in terms of the wheels. It can really go over some terrain and really flex those wheels, and rock crawling is going to be an absolute pleasure. And what Ford have done is they've said they've used their most off-road worthy elements on this vehicle. It's got a HOS system, and by HOS they mean really high off-road capability. So you've got that solid axle, independent front suspension, and they're offering you a rear diff lock and a center a rear and a front diff lock for the 2-door and the 4-door versions of this Bronco. And I really love the fact that these doors can be taken out and put back on very simply. And also in the interior, they're offering you what they're calling a GOAT system, which is a fantastic name, and they've even trademarked it. But they're saying GOAT means go over any terrain, but I'm sure everyone is thinking it's the GOAT, it's the greatest of all time. So I love Ford marketing. They do it smartly, they do it well, and they really appeal to people. And I think they've taken a step in the right direction by releasing the Bronco and actually doing it correctly, with the styling, with the off-road prowess, not just giving us some unibody air suspension SUV that's not really going to take us very far. And as more people embrace camping, off-roading, here in Kenya we've been doing this for years, and the Land Cruiser 70 series has been offering us all of that sort of modularity, where you can really mod the vehicle however you want, whether you want it for touring, whether you want it for rock crawling, whatever you want it for. But by Ford doing this, they're taking a step in the right direction, and this vehicle genuinely looks, really off-road worthy. You got Dobinson's suspension with, I think, remote reservoirs, and Ford is saying these are the systems they're using in their trophy trucks, which are those Baja trucks, the desert bashing trucks that just fly over bumps and fly over the off-road and have no issues. And so this Bronco is getting all of that. And Ford is saying this is going to be the most off-road worthy vehicle, you know, for the adventurers, for the people that need to beat up their vehicle. This vehicle will be able to take it, and that's what I really love. I think they have chosen and made smart decisions on this, and I think this vehicle will sell very well for that reason. And being a Land Cruiser guy, I just felt it necessary to make a video on the Bronco, and I will be having a video as well on the Ineos Grenadier. But if we can look at these interior shots, you know, they've thought about all scenarios, and you would have to mod this vehicle in a few ways if you wanted to stick, you know, shelves at the back or refrigerators, or if you're thinking about you know, rooftop tents. That would pose some issues, but I'm sure the aftermarket will figure that out, because this vehicle has been built from the ground up to be very modular. Every single piece you can just take it out and lay it on the ground and put in different pieces. So I'm sure a lot of third-party accessories are gonna come out for it. But overall, it looks like a fun vehicle. It looks like, you know, something I would want to get my hands on. I would want to get inside. The 2-door and the 4-door versions are having about a 10-inch infotainment screen inside, which is good. And apart from that, the interior looks pretty basic. But it's a step in the right direction, and I think Ford are thinking along the right lines. I don't see some of the other automotive manufacturers doing that. I believe people like Land Rover have absolutely lost the fact that, you know, the Defender is what made that company, and now they've moved to everything sort of unibody. Everything has followed the Range Rover rather than the Defender, and I'm not so much a fan of that. And with Land Cruisers, I still think Toyota is on the right track, and I think they'll make some great additions for the 300 series. But I hope they take a note from the Ford notebook. You know, getting 35-inch tires straight from the factory is insane, and the departure angles and the approach angles on this vehicle are best in class. The water wading depth is best in class. So they're pushing some real figures at us and telling us that, you know, we've built this thing for you guys who like to go off-road, for you guys that like to go off the main track. And you know, let's just see when this vehicle releases in 2021 how exactly it is going to be and how dependable it's going to be, and some of the issues that arise. But from all the modularity and all the accessories and all the footage that Ford has shown us, it promises to be a pretty good vehicle. And I believe the starting price, this is probably for the sport version, is $29,000. But I know when these vehicles reach Kenya, that's going to be double. But exciting times in the automotive industry and in SUVs, you know, something that I just absolutely love, and I believe I'll be driving SUVs all my life. And I like that these manufacturers are now looking at the market in a different way. Rather than just producing vehicles that they like, they're producing vehicles that we like, and at the end of the day, that's the main thing. So let's wait for this vehicle and see how it comes out. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with the initial release.